because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk, because you get super talented people at a discounted rate.
Back when Larenz Tate was a sitcom kid, he did have a lot of shows that didn't last. And I'm pretty sure at one point he felt like his career was not going in the direction it should. See, this is a testament that what is for you, and things happen in divine timing.
You don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about, does following the ritual work? Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear.
The real deal is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we are not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations.
Katt Williams has been calling it out for years. Hollywood don't mess with the real ones. It's the puppets, the yes men, and the industry-made faces that get all the shine. But the ones who stick to their values, they get pushed out. And according to Katt, that's exactly what went down with 90s star Larenz Tate. Yeah, that Larenz who shut it down in Menace II society, had the ladies locked in during Love Jones, and served nothing but power and grace every time he stepped on screen. And then, poof, he was gone. No scandals, no jail time, no public meltdowns. He just slipped into the shadows while Hollywood pretended he didn't exist. So, what really went down? Why would the industry turn its back on one of the coldest black actors of his era?
Like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully.
Katt didn't spill every detail, but he dropped enough hints to make it clear. Larenz probably wasn't down for the strange rituals and shady backdoor games actors get pulled into to stay on top.
And this young man has obviously forgotten some very fundamental things like decency and dedication and honor. Everything the Corps taught us. He is a disgrace to everyone that has ever put on that uniform, and I will not permit you or him to use the Vietnam War as a cop-out here.
And in Hollywood, if you ain't playing their game, you're out. If they can't control you, they can't use you. And if they can't use you, you're no longer valuable to them. So the real question is, what did Larenz say no to that others accepted without blinking? Why did the machine turn its back on a man who could have easily been a household name? Let's go back, because in the 90s, Larenz Tate was that dude. He was everywhere. He left folks speechless in Menace II society as O-Dog, a wild card with serious heat. Then he flipped the script in Dead Presidents, playing a soldier turned criminal with real pain in his soul. And when Love Jones hit, game over. Larenz had...
This is something I've been working on. It's new. I call it a blues for Nina. Ooh. Is that a smile me put on your face, child?
Women mesmerized as the cool, poetic Darius Love Hall, smooth, deep, and straight up magnetic. But Larenz wasn't just another good-looking actor, he was a symbol. Black men saw strength and talent in him. Black women saw charm and poise. He wasn't out here clowning for attention or caught up in scandal after scandal. He stayed solid, and that might have been his downfall in an industry that thrives off chaos. He just did his job and did it right, but then silence, no dramatic crash, no headline.
Until we get in the position of being gatekeepers, if we're not in the room, if we don't have a green light vote, it's not getting done. Somebody in the studio has to say, we're making it.
So every time there is, as you said, everybody's talking about this is now a new wave of black films. Do you think it's
hogwash?
Hogwash. You don't think it signals a big shift in consciousness? No.
Not buying it.
Not buying it.
Shenanigans.
Grabbing meltdown, no messy interviews, just a quiet fade out. 1 minute he was next up, and the next it was like somebody hit the mute button on his whole existence in Hollywood. And that's where it gets suspicious. Because most of the time, when a celeb drops off, it's tied to something wild. Rehab, lawsuits, bad press. But Larenz? None of that. Just a slow exit while the spotlight moved on. He still pops up here and there, but that leading man energy, gone. And the roles, nowhere near the quality he once had. So what changed? Well, word is Larenz started saying no. No to roles that felt demeaning. No.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until...
No. Oh, no.
So they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
To characters that push tired stereotypes. And yep, even no to those infamous dress-up parts. He wanted to do work that mattered. That meant something. But here's the problem. When you say no too often in Hollywood, they blacklist you quietly, subtly. You just stop getting those calls. And let's keep it real.
Who gonna turn down $50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Industry ain't built to lift up too many clean-cut, self-assured black men who know their worth. That's too much power they can't control. Hollywood has always had a limit. They'll pick one, give him the Oscar, the prestige, the big-time roles. But the rest, they gotta fall in line or fall off. Sidekick roles, stereotypes, background noise. Larenz didn't fall in line, and it looks like he paid the price for that. Meanwhile, you've got studios out here throwing big bags at actors to play the same recycled roles. Urban pain, broken homes, street drama, on repeat. Why? Because like Spike Lee said loud and clear, Hollywood is comfortable with black pain. Dysfunction, that's the moneymaker. It's predictable, it doesn't shake the table, and it keeps the power structure untouched, but a proud black man who refuses to sell out just to secure a check. Oh, now that's a threat. That's someone kids might look up to. That's someone who might start asking the real questions, calling folks out. In Hollywood, they can't have that. So yeah, they'll give you one Denzel, but even he had to be perfect. 10 times more polished, 10 times more controlled, never slipping, never stepping out of line.
That's what makes information so powerful is, you don't care how people feel about the ritual. It's about does following the ritual work. Yeah. And so you can fool yourself into thinking there isn't one, but the evidence will be clear. So like when I be like, oh, these guys are wearing dresses. Everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
That bar is sky high. Larenz Tate didn't fade away because he wasn't talented enough. Let's stop the lies. He vanished because he didn't play the role they wanted him to play. He stepped out of line, and that line was never written to protect him anyway. And Katt Williams, he's been waving the red flag about this for years. Folks used to clown him, called him bitter, crazy, said he was tripping. But guess what? Now people are circling back, listening real close and realizing Katt might have been right this whole time. And that's exactly why they tried to shut him up too. One thing Katt always talks about, Hollywood loves to test you. Everyone gets caught up in the whole dress debate, but Katt said it plain, it's not really about the clothes. It's about control. They want to humiliate you, break you down bit by bit. Before you walk through that final door, they'll hit you with something that crosses your personal line.
20 years ago, I knew that transgenders was gonna be a thing. It wasn't because I was a prophet. It's just I had gotten so much information that I understood that things are secular. So I understood that the earliest I had seen that word transgender was Baphomet, the transgender. And so I knew that in the ritual of Baphomet, the transgender, to show allegiance to him, you had to kiss his ass ring.
Really?
And it said both of those things. So I knew that both of those things would become popular in the future.
Something that makes you question yourself. And once you do it, boom, they own you. Now here's where it gets even deeper. Katt went beyond industry politics. He tied all this to something spiritual. He said this ain't just about movie roles and fame. He called out a whole dark energy behind it.
We work twice as hard to get twice as less as our counterparts, right? And that being said, we're not valued. I believe we're supposed to be valued. So those budgets are really important for us so that we can have the kind of quality that we can present to the consumer. And the smaller the budget, the more creative you have to get. And we don't have have resources oftentimes as our white counterparts.
According to him, that so-called dress ritual some actors go through, that's just the tip of the iceberg. He linked it to rumors about secret elite worship, talks about control, submission, and spiritual sacrifice. And when you put that in the same sentence with Larenz Tate, it starts to make sense. This was a man who had everything: the look, the skill, the respect. But instead of selling his soul for...
And I heard on the street, Taraji, you had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. I'll have to. The math ain't mathing.
A longer ride, he chose to dip. Not because he fell off themselves, but because he walked away from the mess. And he's even hinted at it in interviews. Larenz said it himself. He didn't lose his spot. He left it behind on purpose. He didn't take the bait. But he didn't just walk away quietly. Nah, Larenz started talking and saying the kind of things that shake up boardrooms. He pulled the curtain back on the pay gap that most black actors are told to shut up about. Even with all the surface level talk about diversity and equity, Larenz let it be known black actors are still getting lowballed. Even when they bring the same box office pull, even when the audience loyalty is unmatched. And see, that's the kind of truth Hollywood don't want going public. They expect black actors to smile, take the crumbs, be grateful, and never rock the boat. But Larenz?
Deal is we don't own any platform the way we should. There's a few black-owned platforms, but we don't have a lot of outlets. We don't have as many. So we're not sort of governing over these entities or these corporations to say, hey, you guys have a great story, y'all want to tell it, and there's money to be made, come here. So when we do find those places, everybody's trying to go through one keyhole. Everybody's trying to go through one tunnel. And even when you go to non-black-owned places, they'll tell you to go over there because they have to find value in what we do. And that's changing quite a bit as we're making it very clear.
He wasn't built for quiet submission, and that's why the spotlight vanished. The moment you start asking for real power or fair treatment in Hollywood, the machine moves fast. Strings get pulled behind the scenes like clockwork. Just ask Taraji P. Henson or Monique. Soon as they spoke up about getting shortchanged and disrespected, they were slapped with labels like difficult or ungrateful.
Historically, Hollywood has always taught us we don't translate overseas or worldwide. But when you start traveling and you go everywhere and you can't walk down the street, you then know that there's been somebody telling you something all along that's wrong. And my true belief as to why they do it is because Hollywood likes to sort of devalue black artists and black folk because you get super talented people at a discounted rate. You get a Hollywood likes to get really talented black folks and get them at a discounted rate. Only, certain superstars that can hit that level that they would feel like they would put a machine behind. But the truth of the matter is we do translate because we're humans just like everyone else.
Meanwhile, other actors can demand millions and get praise for knowing their worth. The double standard is loud, but Larenz Tate didn't just speak on money. He went deeper. He said straight up, throwing black faces into lead roles and handing out checks ain't the real win. The real issue? Who's behind the camera making decisions, choosing what stories matter, and which ones get locked away forever. If the power never shifts, the game never changes. Representation without control, that's just decoration. And guess what? Larenz wasn't here to play dress up for optics. He didn't sell out, and that's exactly why they tried to erase him. He didn't play their game. He didn't bow down. He didn't swap his dignity for some quick Hollywood clout. So they made him pay. Offers vanished. Studio calls stopped. Media coverage dried up. He went from leading man to straight up ghost. Not because his skills faded, but because he refused to be owned. See, Hollywood didn't just cancel Larenz, they buried him. Quietly. That's how they do it when someone's too clean to drag, but way too strong to control. They can't pin a scandal on you, so they try to make the world forget you ever existed. But real ones, they don't stay buried forever. Now the truth is bubbling up. And Katt Williams name-dropping Larenz, that ain't random, that's a message. Because when a real one speaks, people listen. Larenz didn't fall off, he escaped. And now, the cracks in the system are starting to show. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened to Larenz Tate? Did he say no to the Hollywood rituals Katt's been exposing? Was it just about unfair pay and silent punishment? Or is it something even deeper? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you felt this breakdown. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, and share this with someone who needs to hear the truth. Catch you in the next one.